Okay, everyone, welcome. I'm Cantor Lizzie Shammash coming to you from Philadelphia. Welcome to the IJS Online Yoga Studio. Please take a comfortable seat. That could be on the floor or in a chair is just fine as we begin our practice. And as you settle in with your breath, just a few announcements to begin. We are moved over to YouTube as of a couple weeks ago, so you can check out past yoga classes and share with friends and continue this practice later on into the week if you want to do it again. The YouTube channel the link is in the chat. Thank you, Adi. So please join us there. Please subscribe to the Institute's channel and like the videos. That helps get the word out of all the wonderful work we're doing. We have this class weekly, of course, as well as Torah study on Tuesdays at 11:30 with Rabbi Jonathan Slater, and a daily meditation sit every day, Monday to Friday, 12:30 to 1. So please join us in all those places, as well as our new-ish podcast that comes out on Mondays and Fridays. You can find that on our website or wherever you get your podcasts. And lastly, I want to let you know that there's a wonderful evening coming up. Rabbi Nancy Flam in conversation with Dr. Michael Fishbane. And boy, there's so many notes. When is that going to be, Adi? Make your reservation. It's in the chat. I'm just not sure the date and time. So I do.
That'll be later this week.
Later this week. Thank you. Okay, great. So coming to a comfortable seat, either on your mat or in a chair with a tall spine. Welcome to the 7th day of ER, the 22nd day of the Omer Chesed Shebenetzach. Compassion within, lots of things, effort, eternity, vision, ambition. We'll look into that in just a moment. So wherever you are, see that, and especially if you're seated on the floor, see that the hips are a little taller, a little higher than the knees, and allow the spine to rise very tall. Let the sitting bones settle. Just beginning to land. I always think of this moment, the way an airplane comes onto the tarmac. Remember when we used to do plane travel? Let it be a landing and give you some time to settle in, come to stillness. Whatever you've already been doing in this day, whatever is swirling around in the body, in the mind, in the heart, there's no need to push it aside. Just notice it. Any thoughts, feelings, sensations. Notice them, breathe into them. There might be a thought or two that you might simply ask to step aside for this 45-minute sacred space that you're carving out for yourself. And just remind it, if it's a big to-do list or whatever, I'll be right back. Don't you worry. So taking the right ear over to the right shoulder, just take a nice exhale with that. If you like, you might take the right hand up and over, either rest it on top of the head, give a little tug even, creating a little more stretch in the left side of the neck if you'd like, just if you'd like. And then inhale, release, lift up, and exhale. Let the head be heavy, left ear to left shoulder, finding some length through the right side of the neck. Any micro movements that you like forward and back with the neck too. And again, if you'd like, taking the left hand up and over in some way, bringing a little extra weight, a little extra pull. Soften the jaw. Soften the tongue. Soften the brow. Release the hand. Inhale, allow the head to float up to center. Just notice the length on both sides of the neck. Also the front of the neck, the throat, and the back of the neck, the cervical spine. And let's inhale as we bring the arms up in front, shoulder height. Then exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, bring the arms up. If the body allows, if the shoulders allow, you can bring the arms up higher. Exhale, bring those arms down. You can keep the arms in front if that's most comfortable, or if you'd like, you can bring the arms out and up to the side, shoulder height. And exhale down. Stay with whatever is comfortable in the range of your shoulder motion. And in general, with all movements, inhaling up, you might come a little higher. Make sure the arms are in your peripheral vision. You want to be able to see them out of the corners of your eyes. Exhaling down. Keeping this going in your own breath, inhaling up, which might be shorter or longer than my breath span. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the nose or through the mouth as you prefer. Keep the gaze straight ahead. And the neck long, spine tall. Deeply beginning to become interested in the breath, in breath connected with movement. Starting to anchor the mind in this action. Feeling the ribs coming out to the sides and rising, making more rooms for your lungs to expand. Feeling the breadth of that rib cage side to side and front to back. 2 more times like this. Becoming deeply absorbed in the breath, in movement. And with your final time, bringing the palms together at the top of the inhale and exhaling down through center. Follow that center line from the crown down the front body, all the way to the heart, all the way down. And then let the hands rest on the thighs wherever is comfortable. So we are in the 4th week of the Omer, kind of the middle point. And as usual, when we meet on Mondays, the first day of the week. So the first day of the week being chesed, being compassion, love, kindness, generosity. And in the 4th week, we have Netzach, right? So we've completed the first triad that we got through in these first 3 weeks, Chesed and Gvura and Tiferet. And now we start the second triad with Netzach. Netzach is endurance, it's tenacity or persistence, effort, vision or ambition, transformation. And Netzach is, of course, eternity also. So the positive side of Netzach, we really need Netzach. It fuels us, it fuels our practices, it fuels our intentions, our movement. And without it, we wouldn't be able to get stronger. We wouldn't be able to see any vision through, right? Anything that's important, any relationship, anything generative, creative, will always require Netzach to stay the course, right? So I think it's not what do I mean to say? By chance that we hit Netzach in the middle of the Omer, right? We might just be beginning in the middle of a project, right? To hit a wall. We need to re-engage our fire, our effort for learning, right? Then there's the shadow side of Netzach, the negative side of Netzach. If there's too much Netzach, if there's too much effort, if there's too much efforting, pushing, then if there's too much perfectionism, we go toward perfectionism, we can be overly ambitious, right? Ambition is good. We don't want to go past the limit. If we tax or favor certain muscle groups over others in our practice, right, we can injure ourselves. We can absolutely injure ourselves. So Netzach is the building of heat in the body that purifies us. And Netzach is being able to stay in the pose when it's hard, right? Our litmus test, this practice that we do, our laboratory on the mat, learning to stay so we can figure that out in the world too. So Netzach is being able to hold for a couple more breaths. Netzach is being able to stay in a difficult conversation where we just need to persist with love, right? With love, with chesed. So we're going to look at some backward extensions today. What it takes, the kind of effort, the kind of persistence and tenacity it takes to open up and to lift and to stay in backbending. We'll build slowly. So our question for the practice for this week: can we be persistent without being overbearing? Can we apply effort and ambition without overdoing and injuring ourselves, injuring others, right? And as always, overlaid with this blanket of chesed, with some compassion within that netzach. All right, so chesed shebenetzach. Let's take a look through our practice. So come on off your seat, and we're going to come to a low lunge on one knee. So you might want to fold up the blanket under your knee, or fold up your mat, or this can also be done standing if you don't like to be on your knee, and I'll show that in a moment. So let us take the 2 blocks to either side, if you've got them, and take the left knee forward and come into a low lunge. Kind of work into that. If you're standing, you prefer to be standing, the action is like this. You can hold on to the wall or to a chair, and it's simply bending the knee, holding onto the foot or to the ankle, and drawing the foot toward the buttock. If the hand doesn't reach the foot, there's always a way. There's always a way. You can take the belt, work like this, right? So lots of options here. We're starting to work into the thigh, into the hip flexors, starting to open up the front of the right leg, right? So netzach is also mapped onto the body. It's the right leg, most specifically the right thigh. Draw the lower belly in and up, lengthen the tailbone down. You can pulse a little, inhaling, coming out, and exhaling, letting the hips sink, drawing forward. You may enjoy the blocks or a chair. You may not need them. But see what feels good in your body. I'm just the guide. I'm just giving suggestions. And the ultimate practice is really, it's really yours. We're really learning to figure ourselves out. And we do it in community, which is the best way. So tuck those back toes, and if you'd like, lift the back knee. We'll start to build this. If you're standing, you'll release the foot. You can take hold on the wall or on a chair and take a lunge here. Lengthen from the right heel all the way to the crown of the head. Square the hips. That might take a little effort of drawing that left hip back, right hip forward. Long spine. Let the neck and head relate to the whole rest of the torso, all the way down to the heel. And then if you like beginning to build up a little higher to the thigh, just take this lunge wherever you'd like it today. If you'd like it in a more restorative fashion, that's fine. Bring your efforts, bring your netzach there. And if you'd like it with a little more sensation, a little more heat building, start to come up. You might take the arms overhead, either extending tall, facing each other, or in a cactus position, elbows bent, shoulder height, and lift the heart here. Drop the tailbone, lift the heart, gaze up, perhaps. Options, always options. So find where this pose wants to live for you today. Send that inner right heel back. And then as you're ready, rolling it back down, unraveling it bit by bit, knee to the floor. And before we switch legs, you can pause for a moment in between. And if you'd like, tuck those toes under and sit back. I shouldn't say if you'd like, because nobody really likes this one. Get the pinky toes under too. Spread the toes. Sit back. Netzach, tenacity. Let some sensation build through the ball of the foot. And as you're ready, you can release, pitter patter out the feet, and bring that right foot forward. And we come into a low lunge. You can get that started again. And if you're standing, you'll bend and you'll either hold the ankle or foot with the hand, or you can use the strap. Just go to the beginning of the stretch where you start to have some sensation at the left thigh, top of the thigh. And again, pulsing a little bit in and out. Inhale, lift out, and exhale, let the weight of the hips fall forward. Square those hips. That might mean drawing that right hip back in space. Then if you like, tuck the back toes, begin to lift that left knee off the floor, send the heel back, and particularly the inner heel. Want to roll that thigh internally, inwardly rotating, right? Send the heel away from the crown. Draw the low belly in, lengthen the tail. And then if you'd like, come on up to the thigh. Hands to the thigh, press the thigh away, lift the heart. Notice any differences one side to the next. If balancing is an issue, you can widen the stance. Take the feet a little wider from each other, bring the hands to the chair. If you'd like to begin to open it to a back bend, arms up, cactus pose, or straight up above. You can even clasp hands and steeple the middle two fingers. See what works in your arms, chest, shoulders. Don't make any assumption that one side is going to be exactly like the other. And then lift the heart, lift the gaze, if you like. Send that left inner heel back. Feeling sensation build, and then slowly release. And this time we're going to bring the back foot to meet the front foot. And either roll up or take a flat back up to standing. Move the things away from your mat, blocks, blanket. You can move them to the side. Let's look at mountain in the sense of Netzach as eternity. Mountain is surely the poster child pose. Let's take mountain with the hips, with the feet hip width apart, wide-ish stance. Lift those 10 toes and spread them, place them down. Root the four corners of the feet, inner, outer, heel. Mound of the big toe, mound of the little toe, across the front of the foot. Find those four corners, root them. Keep a micro bend on the knees. Hips above the ankles. Lengthen your tail. Lift the rib cage up and away from the hips. Noticing any space in the abdomen. Shoulders above hips. And now let's begin to inhale the arms up, either out in front or out to the sides. And the arms can come up to wherever you like. Again, maybe it's cactus or a wide V. See what the shoulders allow or are calling for today. We're going to hold this for a little while. The arms might come up by the ears, palms facing inward. Fingers bright, palms bright. Energy out through the fingertips. So soles of the feet also very bright, very rooted, very open. Root the whole surface area of those feet. Extend the crown of the head up. And breathe. Long, smooth breaths. Feel any sensations building in the body, any heat rising. Stay the course. The mountain endures. All seasons, all weathers. Harshness of environment. The mountain endures. Rain, wind, sun. Avalanche. Observe what's going on in the body. A little place of detachment, just noticing what's happening. And allow for sensation to build and move through you. You're welcome to release at any time or do something else at any time if you need, if it's more comfortable. A couple more long, smooth breaths. Inhale, fully inhabit this mountain pose. And as you exhale, begin to let the hands slowly, slowly, slowly float down. Back by your sides. Let the arms go. Pause, be still. Resist the urge to fidget. Feel the effects of mountain pose. Feel the effects through the arms, the shoulders, the torso. Soften the eyes and just feel the echo of the pose. And give it a little shake. And please take hold of your strap. Now you may or you may not need the strap for this, but I'll show you. We're going to take the strap behind us and the palms are facing forward, the thumbs are facing out, right? So we're externally rotating the shoulders. We're beginning to open them. The wider that you take the hands on the strap, the less intense it will be on your shoulders. So if you bring the hands closer together, it'll be more intense. And you may also clasp the hands, bring them behind you. That's where we're going. So if that's available to you, then you don't need the strap. So hands behind, palms facing forward. Take the feet even a little wider than hip width, kind of a micro bend in the knees. As you inhale, drop the tailbone, lift the sternum, and take the arms away from the body. The gaze comes up, maybe to where the wall meets the ceiling. And as you exhale, come back to neutral. We're just going to flow in and out a couple times. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest. Let the arc start to come through the whole spine. The head starts to come back. And as you exhale, back to neutral. Again, inhale, hands back, shoulders rotate, armpits open, upper chest lifts like a shelf. Heart up, gaze up, long back of the neck. You can even keep the chin a little bit tucked as you lengthen the back of the neck. Depending on what your neck needs, exhale and come back. Good. Inhale one more time. Arms back, heart up, lift up, tailbone drops. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward over the legs, bending the knees, spine long, crown long. Tailbone away from the crown, kind of like a skier's pose here. Knees bent, you can take the hips down as far as you would like. Start to feel some sensation build through the thighs. See that the knees are tracking right over the toes. Inhale into that long spine. And then if you'd like, exhale, fold forward a little more. Let the head drop, let the arms come up higher. Opening through the front of the shoulders. Let the head go. Shake it yes or no. Smooth, easy breaths. And then inhale, lengthen the spine. Knuckles back or strap back. Come back to that long spine position one more time. Let the sensation build in the thighs. And then as you're ready, press into the feet. Inhale, lift up. Finding that full open back bend one more time, and then exhale. Come back to neutral. Release the strap. Shake out the arms. And just pause and notice how you feel through that whole line of the arms, across the shoulders. And we're going to come down to the floor. And again, you might like to have some cushion for your knees. We're going to come to stand on the shins. You might like the blanket or to fold your mat up. And if you've got the blocks, take them to either side of the feet, on the outside of the feet. So the tops of the feet are extended on the floor here. If you don't have blocks, you might want to tuck the toes, and the heels up will kind of make up for what the blocks are going to be doing for us. Okay, so we've done some nice Netzachi warm-ups with a good dose of hod, of kind of a generous compassion to start to get us ready for this somewhat fiery pose. Now again, if you've got low back issues, I want you to take this one really easy, and in particular, for sure, use the blocks. Or you may even just come to here, and that's your camel pose today, just like that. No crunching in the lower back, lengthening the tailbone and lifting the sternum. Those are the name of the game here. So let's start with this. Take the hands as if you're putting them in your jeans pockets, fingertips pointing down. As you bring them into your jean pockets, really draw the flesh of the buttocks a little bit down the back. Lengthen the possibilities for the sacrum, right? So drawing that buttock flesh down, already you feel when you do that, how the abdomen starts to come in to support it. You have that girdle. Tailbone down, inhale, lift the sternum up. This time, keep the chin a little bit tucked. Lengthen the back of the neck. So the focus here is really heart up. Draw the elbows toward each other. Like the upper chest is a shelf. Nice, wide open shelf. Breathe here. And then as you're ready, come on up. Good. If you can, turn so the fingertips point up. And if they don't, no problem. Keep it again with fingertips down. But you might try this alternative. Draw the elbows together. Inhale, tailbone down, lift the heart. Elbows toward each other. And now, rather than tucking the chin, you might extend and begin to open a little more. Start to take the gaze up if the neck allows. So not so much a coming back as a coming up. Breathe here. And then inhale, come on up. All right, pressing into the shins, drop the tailbone, belly in, inhale, lift the heart up, draw the elbows together. You can keep the hands here or take them to the blocks. And again, if you're really open and backbendy, you don't want the blocks. You can take the hands to your ankles, to your heels. Begin to come into a fuller expression of the pose. So tailbone down, lifting the heart. Tailbone down, lifting the heart. Breathe. Hips pressing forward. And then as you're ready, inhale and come out. Just pause for a moment. You might sit it down. Don't get too excited. Don't take a child's pose or any counter pose. We're going to take it again, just taking a break. Let the breath come back to normal. And then as you're ready, coming back in. And maybe you'll take the same, take it the same way with the blocks. Maybe you'll move the blocks away, take hands to heels. You'll see what you want the second time. You can take the blocks down a level. So I really want to impress upon you that we want to let the thighs also draw forward, right? So it's not a falling back. It's really a coming up and over, and the hip flexors, the thighs are pressing forward. So hands to the low back, lengthen the tailbone, draw those lower abs in and up, navel to spine. Inhale, lift the heart, elbows toward each other. And from that up and over, you'll decide where you're coming this time. Exploring camel pose. The vision, the ambition to see where you're going, and just keep that sense of a steady effort. You can release the pose whenever feels ready for you. You can hold it a little longer. Give yourself a little more if you feel that. See what's right for you. When you're ready, inhale and lift up. And pause. You might close the eyes. You might take a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Receive your efforts. Receive your own sense of netzach, of persistence, of tenacity. And then as you're ready, we're going to come to the floor. Lay it down, soles of the feet to the floor, knees up toward the ceiling. Let's take a moment to feel the spine and this connection. And then grab one of your blocks. Inhale, press the soles of the feet into the floor, lift the hips up, and place the hips onto the block on its lowest level for a supported bridge pose. Right, so this isn't so much effort as it is a counter pose for camel, letting the spine reset, letting the spine lengthen. So let the hips rest into the block. Let the tailbone lengthen away from you. You might take the hands to the lower ribs. Just feel those ribs. Moving away from center, moving back to center. Feel how your fingers mirror your ribs. Each rib like a finger. Intercostal muscles forming a webbing in between each rib. This miracle of enduring breath, repeating over and over. Netzach is also personified in Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu, with vision for leadership, a vision for transformation of the Jewish people. Feeling your breath lengthen, moving smoothly between inhale and exhale. And then as you're ready, remove the hands. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips. And as you exhale, slowly letting the spine come back to the floor, vertebra by vertebra, dropping down. And hugging the knees toward the chest. You can take hold on the knees or behind the knees to the back of the thighs. Rolling it a little bit side to side. Giving back a little massage. Maybe making circles with your knees. Massaging out the sacrum. See if there's anything else that your body would like before settling into stillness. Maybe it wants a knee to the chest or taking the knees over to the side for a twist or something else. Or maybe you're just ready to settle into stillness. So either taking those last couple of movements, or if you're ready, settling in. You might extend the legs long on the floor, or you might keep the knees bent with soles of the feet to the floor. If you're wearing glasses, remove them. Any Shavasana variation you like, or anything that will make you 10% more comfortable. Maybe you want to roll up the blanket as a bolster under your knees. Maybe you want it under your head. Maybe you'd like to cover yourself. Make yourself comfortable for a few minutes of stillness. Surrender. Surrender the effort. There's nothing that you need to do. A couple minutes of pure being. If you have a little time and you're able to stay in Shavasana a little longer, I encourage and invite you to do so if your body calls to you in that way. And if you're beginning to move back into your day, just allow the awareness to come to the surface, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Hugging the knees to the chest. Making your way over onto your side in a fetal position. Use your upper arm as a pillow for your head. Allow your arm to be extended long on the floor. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, press that other hand into the floor. Keep the spine long, making your way up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Spine tall. Allow the eyes to close if it feels safe and comfortable for you. Chesed shebenetzach. A little compassion today within a sense of tenacity, endurance, eternity. And I'll close with a line we know very well from our liturgy. Ledor vador nagid godlecha, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha nakdish. Twice netzach, ulenetzach netzachim. From generation to generation, ledor vador, nagid godlecha, will tell of your greatness. Ulenetzach netzachim, and through the eternity of eternities, kedushatcha nakdish, we will sanctify your holiness. We will make holy your holiness. This sense of God's enduring goodness. You can breathe deeply into that. You might take a hand to the heart. And a couple of deep, full breaths as a chatima, as a seal on our practice today. And release your hand, open your eyes. Shavua Tov. Thank you so much for practicing today. Again, a reminder to follow our podcast and to sign up for the talk between Rabbi Nancy Flam, Dr. Michael Fishbane. That's coming up. And I'm happy to stay for any questions about our practice today, or your practice in general, or Netzach as a concept. Please feel free to